Yeah, we got Winnie the Pooh. Is it a blustery day today outside? It's definitely winter time. Freezing out there. Tigger too. Thanks, Tigger, for being here. All right, so we're trying to do our very best on all these solving radicals and roots. Number 11 is kind of our first root that you have to do both things with. You have to, or maybe just one thing. Let me see, 1/5. Yeah, just one thing, not too bad. So you have to convert it to a root, though. Do you remember how to convert an exponential fraction to a root? So the 5 is the root. So we have -2/3, not in parentheses. So -2/3. And then we have the 5th root of x is equal to -2. So we need to isolate the radical. Do you remember that step? Isolate the radical, get everything to the other side first. And so how we do that is multiplying by the reciprocal of -2/3. And so we're going to go and multiply by the reciprocal. And what I mean is if you multiply by -3/2 to the other side like that, then the 3's will cancel, and the 2's will cancel, and even the negatives will cancel. But if you do it to one side, you have to multiply it to the other side. So go ahead and multiply both sides by the reciprocal, flipping it there. I don't know if I ever say reciprocal, because that's usually also just flipping the fraction, keep it negative. Usually change the sign. That's perpendicular. Anyways, okay, so go ahead and flip and then over to the other side. And so there's our negative to the other side as well. Looking good. So now we have the 5th root of x is equal to, any whole number can be written over the number 1, and then we multiply straight across. So -2 times -3 is +6, and then 1 times 2 is 2, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. And now, how do we undo the 5th root? So to undo the 5th root, we go ahead and power 5. Power 5 both sides. If you do it to one side, you have to do it to the other. So what is 3 to the 5th power? 3 times, whoa, go to class. Oh no, it's lunchtime. Yeah, don't forget your lunch. Keep that brain going, eat your lunch. So 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, times 3 is 54, 81, times 3, So 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, times 3 is 81, times 3 is 243. So 3 to the 5th power is what we're looking at, is 243. So our answer for number 11 is 243. There we go. And so if you plug that back in, the 5th root of 243, of course, is 3. And so you end up with the 5th root of 243 is 3. And so that ends up equaling -2 because the 3's cancel. You end up with -2 equals -2. It works. So that's our answer there. Try number 12. Try 13. Try 13. Try 13. Okay, so don't forget that you have to do PEMDAS backwards. Remember? SADMEP. SADMEP. PEMDAS backwards is SADMEP. So we have to isolate the radical by doing subtraction or addition first, then maybe multiplication and division next, and then we can power 2 both sides. So let's take a look there. So we're going to go to -9 first. So then we get the square root of 3x minus 1 equals a minus 9 is -1. Now that looks suspicious. That looks suspicious, Cotton and Trap. We can go on together with suspicious minds. So that looks kind of suspicious because the square root will never yield a negative number. But let's carry on and plug it in. Okay, here we go. So we are now going to power 2 both sides, now that we isolated the radical. And so that gives us 3x minus 1. -1 squared is a +1. We're going to add 1 to the other side, so we get 3x is equal to 2. And then we're going to divide by 3. Yay, we got 2/3, or did we? Let's plug it back in and check. Dot, 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 dot. Maybe it's 2/3. We have to check and see. So we're going to plug it in here. So now we have the square root of 3 times 2/3 minus 1 plus 9 equals 8. Well, 3 times 2/3 is 6/3, which is 2. And so 2 minus 1. And so 2 minus 1 is just 1. And the square root of 1 is 1. And 1 plus 9 is 10. And 10 does not equal 8. 10 does not equal 8. So that means that 2/3 doesn't work. No solution for number 13. No solution. Woo! So try number 12 on your own. Try number 12. Hurry and get to class. Oh no, that's lunch. What are you talking about? I don't know. It's no, it's just regular schedule. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Shout out to Reagan. It's good to see you. Okay, here we go. So there's number 13. Number 13 is no solution. So try number 12. Remember, you got a minus 16. Divide by 2 first before you power 3 both sides. Ooh, okay, this is a good one. 15 is a good one. Okay, so remember to isolate the radical, turn it into a radical. Wait, pause me. You don't. Try it on your own first. Come on, try it on your own. So we're going to add 1 to this side. So we get 8. Pause me. Try it on your own. Okay, so x plus 2. Which one's the root? Which one's the root? So the root is the 4. So it's going to be the 4th root. And we have to the 3rd power. We have to the 3rd power, which does not come out. Oh no, what do we do? So we are going to have to power 4 both sides, is what we're going to have to do there. So let's go and power 4 both sides. Here we go. So we're going to take the whole thing and power. It doesn't matter. You could do either order, okay? You can deal with the root first or the power. I'm dealing with the root first just because it looks a little easier to get rid of it. But if you have the 3rd power on the outside, you could cube root both sides first if you wanted to. Would you rather do that? Okay, we can do that. Let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and take that 3rd power now, and I'm going to make the whole thing the 3rd power. Whoa, that's crazy. So why are we doing that? Because I want to undo the 3rd power first. You could have done power 4 to both sides first, but that's fine. Let's try both ways, see if it works. So we're going to go ahead and 3rd power, boom, both sides. And the 3rd power of 8 is what? Well, it triplets into 2 times 2 times 2. So that's just going to be a 2. And so that gets rid of the 3rd power. So now we're left with just the 4th root of x plus 2. And so now we're going to undo the 4th power. How do we undo the 4th power? So now to undo the 4th power, we're going to go ahead and power 4 both sides. Power 4 both sides. So that gets rid of the 4th root. So now we're left with x plus 2 is equal to 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. And now we're going to minus 2 to the other side. And we get 14 as our answer. Why is he putting dots? Why is he not circling it? Because you need to check your answer. Make sure you check your answer. So now we're going to plug that back in here. And so we have 14 plus 2 is 16. And so we have 16 to the 3/4. And so we have 16 to the 3/4. 16 to the 3/4 minus 1 equals 7. Well, 16 to the 3/4, you have the 4th root of 16 to the 3rd power. And the 4th root of 16 is 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, so that's 2. And then 2 to the 3rd power is 8. And 8 minus 7, no, 8 minus 1 is 7. We did it. 8 minus 1 is 7, 7. So 7 equals 7. Nice, 7 equals 7. So we did it right. So 14 definitely works. So you try 16 next. You try 16. Try 17 on your own. Pause me. Try 17 on your own. So we're going to go ahead and power 2 both sides. But make sure you do the whole thing. What does that mean? I'm trying my left hand now because my right arm is killing. Okay, so that means squared. What does squared mean? So squared means you have an x minus 1 and an x minus 1, right? Equals, the root goes away. We're just left with x minus 1 on this side. So then, seashell. So we have x times x is x squared. X times negative x is a negative 1x. This negative 1 times x is a negative 1x. Negative 1x. And the negative 1 times negative 1 is a positive 1. So then we have x squared minus 2x plus 1 is equal to x minus 1. And now we have to get everything on the same side and factor it. So we're going to go ahead and minus x over to this side. So now we have x squared minus 3x. And we're going to add 1 to this side. So we get a positive 1. And 1 plus 1 is 2. And now we need to factor it. So we're going to go ahead and factor that. So we get x and x. And then 1 and 2, right? 1 and 2. Because factors of 2 are 1 and 2. Sign of the middle term goes with a bigger number. But how do you get a positive with a negative? Well, they both have to be negative because negative times negative is a positive. And then you set them both equal to 0, set them equal to 0, and add 1 to the other side, add 2 to the other side. So we get x equals 2 as a solution, and we get x equals 1 as a solution. Are you sure? Does only one of them work? Does both work? Does none work? 0, 1, or 2 solutions is what we're looking at there. And so what you have to do is plug it back in, but to the original before you power 2 to both sides. The original. And so the original was x minus 1 equals the square root of x minus 1. I think the 2 is going to work because 2 minus 1 and the square root of 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. Square root of 1 is 1, which is 1. 1 equals 1. So the 2 definitely works, but I'm not sure about the 1. Because the problem is, when you plug the 1 in, well, it might work. Let's see, because usually square root never yields a negative number, right? But, I don't know, 1 might work. Let's see. So 1, and then in red, we have minus the 1, equals, right, equals the square root of 1 minus 1. Remember, wherever you see there, we're plugging in a 1 there, right? We're plugging in a 1. So 0 equals square root of 0, 0. They both work. Wow, I didn't think they were both going to work. Yeah, they both work. So 1 and 2 both work. So try number 18 on your own. That's tricky. Whoa. That means check your answer. Check your answer. It might work. It might be fine. But it also might be no solution. We'll see. Okay, next page. So did you try number 19 yet? Go and give that a try. We're going to minus 3 over to the other side to isolate the radical. Then we're going to go ahead and power everything on the left and right side. So that gets rid of the radical. We're left with x plus 3 is equal to, you got to do both of them. It is not x squared plus 9. No, no, no. You're missing your middle terms. Pause me. Try it on your own. Don't just copy me. You're going to fail the test. Pause me. Try it on your own. So x times x is x squared. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. Pause me. Negative 3 times x, negative 3x. Negative 3 is a plus 9. So then we have, bring down the x plus 3, bring down the x plus 3. So now we have x squared minus 3x, and 3x is 6x plus 9. What do we do now? Do you remember? The 2 means we have 2 solutions. We have 2 solutions. How do we get them? Do you remember? How do we do it? Could you do it on the test? So we're going to get everything on the same side and factor it. So we get a 6. Negative 6x and negative 1x is negative 7x. And then we bring down our x squared, and now we're going to factor it. So not 2 and 3, because that makes 5, but probably factors of 6 are 1 and 6. Sign melt term goes with a bigger number. But how do we get a positive 6? Well, a negative times a negative is a positive. So we're going to have two solutions. Maybe only one. Two solutions? Maybe only one. So what you do is you set them both equal to 0 and add 6 to the other side. So we get two solutions. We get x equals 6 as a solution. And set this one equal to 0, so x minus 1 equals 0. And add 1 to the other side. So we get x equals 6 and x equals 1 as our two solutions. Question mark, question mark. So we're going to go ahead and plug the 6 in. I think the 6 should probably work. Now remember, before you power 2'd both sides, you need the original. You need the original. So what's the original there? The original is, what's the original? So the original is the square root of x plus 3. Plus 3 is equal to x. So now we go and plug a 6 in. So plug a 6 in. So we get the square root of 6 plus 3 is 9. Plus 3 is equal to 6. The square root of 9 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 equals 6. It works. So a little bit worried about the 1 though. Let's try number the 1. So now we have the square root of x plus 3. This is the original now. And wherever we see an x, we're going to plug in a 1. So, whoopsie. That was supposed to be over the x. 1, there we go. So 1 plus 3 is 4. So we have the square root of 4. Plus 3 is equal to 1. Wait a second, the square root of 4 is 2. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. Because the square root of 4 is 2, and 2 plus 3 is 5. And 5 does not equal 1. So that means that doesn't work. Doesn't work. So only the 6 works, okay? For number 19, only the 6 works. So make sure you plug in your answers. Check your answers, make sure it works. The Beaufort scale system measures wind speed, and the scales are 0 to 12. The 0 means the speed is less than 1 mile per hour, and conditions sea level are calm. And 12 means a hurricane. The speed is greater than 74 miles per hour. 50-foot waves, severe damage. Run for your life! Oh, sorry, I got too involved in the problem. Consider the equation B equals 1.837 Butte to the 3/2 power. That models the relationship between wind speed in miles per hour, V, and Beaufort numbers between 0 and 12. Determine the Beaufort number for wind speed of 20 miles per hour. Okay, let's see. So determine the Beaufort number. So for 20 miles per hour, so V is the miles per hour, right? V is the speed in miles per hour. And so that's going to be V in miles, is the wind speed in miles per hour. So that's this guy, that's V. And so they're saying that V is equal to 20. V is equal to 20. So we're just going to plug in 20 in there, okay? So I'm going to write it the other way around just because it's easier for me to read. So basically it's 20 is equal to 1.837 Beauforts, whatever, call it x if you really want to 3/2. I'm going to switch it around because I'm used to doing it the other way around. So I'm going to switch this here and switch the 20 there. So 1.837, whatever that weird Beaufort 3/2 is equal to 20. Okay, so we want to solve for Beaufort. So we want to solve there. So we got to get it by itself first. And so we want to go ahead and divide by 1.837 to the other side. So divide by 1.837. So now we go ahead and do 20 divided by 1.837. So that gives us 10.887, 10.887. So now we have this Beaufort thing, whatever, to the 3/2 power is equal to 10.887, 10.887. And now, we got to rewrite that. So what is that? The root is what? 3 or 2? What is the root? So the root is a 2, remember, because the one on the bottom there. And then this is a third power, equals 10.887. And now, how do we undo the power of 2? So we undo the power of 2 by squaring both sides. That's going to get rid of the root. So we're going to square both sides. So now we go to our calculator and we go ahead and square. Square that answer. So that's 10.88731, whatever, to the squared power. And we get 118.533. So we get 118.553, because that's what that squared is. And now we have the Beaufort to the third power. So how do we undo the third power? So to undo the third power, we cube root. Way-o. So we're going to cube root. If you do it to one side, you have to do it to the other side. So now we have our Beaufort value. So we're going to go and do the cube root of that answer now. So we're going to go math button. Option 4 is cube root of 118.5333519. And so when we cube root that, we get 4.9122. And so let's see here, just say round to one decimal place. So that should just be 4.9 then, huh? So we get our Beaufort value there of 4.9122, 4.9122. And so we're going to round to approximately 4.9 is our answer. 4.9 is our answer. So our Beaufort value there is going to be 4.9. Woo, good job. So try number 22 on your own with Big Ben. And also try 24 on your own. ACT question. Ooh, this is a good one. So solve for x, solve for x. Pause me. You try 23 on your own. Pause me. Try it on your own. Okay, so what do you have to do first? You can distribute the 9 through if you really wanted to. Yeah, you could. Why not? You don't have to, but that'd be kind of fun. So 9x minus 9 times 9 is 81. Usually you divide by 9 first, but why not? Because it'll happen anyways right now. But first, let's go and add 81. Woo! So we're going to add 81. Try it on your own. So 81 minus 11, so that's going to be what, 70? So 9x is equal to 70. And then we divide by 9. Woo! Yeah, 79s. We got 79s. So you can plug it back in and try it, but I think that's going to work. See if it equals negative 11, right? So we use our calculator, and we do 9 times, parentheses, 79s, close parentheses, minus 9. And hopefully it equals negative 11. It does! Good job. Okay, thanks for watching. Tune in for the practice test now and try your best on Unit 6. You're going to ace this test. You got this. Unit 6, let's go. Way-o.